So, dude, let me open you up with the meditation that I always do
All right.
to just nestle us into this comfy zero gravity space that we're floating in. So you can just imagine a beautiful golden bubble forming all around us, 360 degrees through the floor and filling with beautiful golden light. And we're going to infuse this golden ball of light with joy and laughter and play and peace and our highest truth and expression. And then we're going to attach a grounding cord to the bottom of this beautiful golden ball and let it go all the way down to the earth, just so that we're grounded. And then also a cord that will attach from the top end of the ball and go all the way out into another part of the universe, whole other galaxy, somewhere that has a beautiful, soft, loving energy, calling in a Christ-like energy that we can attach to. And now we are grounded and flying in it, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
Just like that.
just like that, man.
Yeah.
Yay! I was so excited to do this when I first had the vision at Casa Vanau and I felt into you coming on the podcast. I thought, holy fuck, this man is an absolute yogi, qigong, uh, wizard, master, energy mover.
Something like that.
Something that if I had to, put on all the costumes of who Lee is, there's a lot of different.
There's a few, yeah.
There's a lot, man. Aw.
Well, thank you for having me.
Dude, so I want to just go into you because you've obviously gone through a transformation and you've come to a place of being able to feel energy, move energy, know the world of energy that is around you. And you've made this incredible transition of obviously no longer identifying as a human body and just a human body. So tell me about that shift and when that started for you and how it started. And this is the Satori story because Satori means awakening. So I'm curious to know your Satori story.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for asking.
Me.
Well, I don't know if I would use the word shift because it has definitely been a process that has taken um, place over many years, I
Yeah.
would say. And it has been a very gradual um, experience, basically a cleansing and a releasing of everything that I'm not, all of the stuck energy, the trauma, the impressions of different kind, um, ancestral stuff, um, whatever I brought from other lifetimes. I don't know where it came from, but it was there. Like there was a lot of shit in my body, and I had experienced chronic pain for as long as I can remember. Like I mean, I don't remember when I was a kid, but just for as long as, at least for sure, since I was a teenager, just such incredible amounts of pain, particularly in my coming from my left ankle up the left leg and to the left testicle and up
Wow.
to the left hip and a little bit on the right. But that has been, yeah, for as long as I can remember, just I felt so much pain. And before I didn't understand why. And also when I sought help from the medical system, um, when I thought it was something that could help me, they would tell me like, there's no reason for you to be in this pain. You're perfectly healthy and you're fine, and we can't really do anything to help you.
Damn.
Yeah.
How old were you?
When it started getting really bad, and it really um, I guess I was like 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it was like just at its peak, I would say. Um, and yeah, and I was seeking a lot of help, seeing specialists, traveling to see specialists, whatever I could to help, just because I wanted to find some relief. And yeah, and then I guess it was 2012, so 12 years ago now.
Yeah.
Um, I heard somewhere, I don't remember, I think it was online somewhere, and it said that meditation can help with chronic pain. And I had never heard of meditation. I didn't know what, like, really. I guess I had an idea of what it was. Like, I would think of like a monk sitting on a mountaintop or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was like, well, I'm willing to try anything. Whatever I've done so far hasn't helped, um, and so I was like, okay. I bought the book that the article recommended, and it was like, oh, like meditation for business. But it was just like the first thing because I was desperate, and so I started reading about meditation and started to practice the best I could. It was obviously very difficult
Yeah.
at the beginning, and yeah, I guess like I feel like that was maybe a turning point where I decided to like um, take the initiative myself rather than looking outside of myself for someone to try and heal
Wow.
me, you know, from this broken systems and without any success. It was like a turning point where I was like, okay, um, I'll take responsibility for this. I don't know why I have this pain. I don't know where it came from, but it's there, and it seems to be something that I have to deal with. And so,
Oh,
I guess that was the beginning of me, kind of, the beginning of that process for me.
wow. That's a profound shift to take responsibility and not be a victim.
Yeah, yeah. It seems that's what we're called to do in this reality.
Yeah.
It's a very empowering. It's very challenging, but at the same time, it's extremely empowering because you take back the control. You decide. You
Yeah.
decide that I want a different story, and then you start somewhere to start writing the pages of the new story.
Wow.
So
And then the whole movie shifts.
yeah, and yeah, so that was 12 years ago.
Whoa.
And so, as I mentioned, yeah, it's been definitely a long process for me. Um, Obviously, there's been moments, that have been very strong and very transformational, um, but yeah, it's definitely been a long time, consistent journey, and more than anything, I would say that it takes a lot of devotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to know what you want, trust that it's going to be the greatest reward ever. This pearl of greatest price.
Mm.
This reconnecting with the energy. That's what we really are, and it's a process of reconnecting with that energy, and at the same time disidentifying with this personality, this
Yeah.
character that people call Leigh. Um,
Yep.
Simultaneously, both happen kind of simultaneously, and it's very interesting. And Leigh is like putting in a lot of effort,
Yep.
12 years of effort of whatever,
Yep.
meditation, shit ton of yoga, breath work, um, proper sleep, changing my diet. That was a really big one for me. It was
Wow.
really difficult.
Whoo.
I had grown up eating processed foods
Whoo.
and lots of um, yeah, just like I don't even think you call it food, like just
Wow.
like processed things, and that was normal for me. And they're quite addictive, like when you're in that. And so it was a big process of over many years to change my diet to eating more healthy, more whole raw um, foods, and also adding in certain supplements.
Mm.
What else?
Qigong.
Yeah, qigong as of
As
recently.
of this morning, I did it for the first time. It
Yeah.
was so good.
Yeah, you liked it, eh, bro?
Oh, dude, I loved it.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it makes you feel really good.
So
Yeah.
powerful.
It really like it is like a really like fast experience of increasing this flow of vital life force energy that we call chi or prana or whatever else you want to call it. But it's the stuff that makes us feel alive. It's what keeps us alive, and we all have it. Everything that's alive has chi. But a practice like this just really helps you to release blockages and feel all kinds of different sensations of this chi energy almost instantly within an hour long practice. And yeah, for that's definitely been one of the practices been incredibly transformative for me over the last 2 years.
I
Yeah.
just want to add that when the class ended, we did this thing where Leigh, you told us to just put one hand out and then just take in the chi and feel the chi. And what's the movement?
Yeah. So you're like here, I'm holding the book with my left hand
Yeah.
and turning the page
Turning the
with the right.
page.
Close your eyes. Observe the breath and observe the chi. And yeah,
Wow, I still feel it.
it is definitely the chi. Yeah?
Wow,
That was
that's
a good
incredible. I just felt the
Yeah.
little tingly, sparkly.
Yeah, so like tingly, maybe a warmth, this feeling of openness or expansion, particularly in the heart area. Um, these are definitely some of the familiar hallmark sensations of this energy, which this is what we really are. We are this energy of love, and we decided to play a game and come and be these avatars and be these characters and forget what we really are.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
but now we're remembering that we're not these characters.
Yeah.
We're this energy. And it feels so good.
So good. So
Like,
good.
it feels so good.
Wow, it's the best.
It's like the most beautiful remembrance. No.
It is.
As cool as Leigh is, and
Yeah. I love Taylor.
yeah, he's pretty
but
cool too. Yeah,
doesn't compare.
but gee, like that's what Leigh and Taylor really are.
Yeah.
And when Leigh and Taylor are at their best, and embodying what we might call the higher version of ourselves or the divine God self, we are releasing that personality, and we're just being channels for this energy to flow through us. And that's when Taylor and Leigh really shine, I think, and make an impact on the world around them as well. Can I go back to the story?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I'd love that.
So again, there was many over the years. It's been I was looking for all kinds of practices, anything I could do to help me to clear these blockages. I'm gay, and
I love that, by the way.
Yeah, right.
I think it's super cool that you just dropped that on the podcast.
Yeah, cool. I love that too, actually.
Yeah.
It took a while to love it.
I can imagine it took a while to be able to comfortably say that.
Yeah, especially I grew up in a very religious environment, evangelical Christianity, and so that's gonna mess with you, because it's just something that
wow, dude,
you've always felt or desire you've always had is just wrong, or you can't be fulfilled, or
it's against God.
Yeah.
That's how they say it. That's just what it is, and it's scary.
Yeah.
Whew.
And the levels of shame and guilt that come with,
of course,
without even doing anything. When I did some things, probably was even worse. But just without even doing anything, just feeling like whatever, just for having the desire that I have to want to hold another man or whatever, it was really hard. And I think that was a lot of the storage of some of this shame and guilt that got stuck in my body. Yeah, and I was just chronic because I was kind of in like denial, or like who I was wrong, and my like a core, part of my experience or what I felt at the time that I was wrong.
Wow.
I was being told it was wrong. So yeah, I think that was definitely a big one.
Whoa.
But I would say for sure, since I was little, I had this kind of fear around being separated from my mom. I guess like particularly through death, like just knowing that she was going to die one day and we wouldn't be together, it was really big for me. And I used to have nightmares about her dying, and yeah, that was been a big process for me, of acceptance that we do experience this kind of apparent separation from our loved ones,
Oh,
when
I know.
one of us dies. And yeah, for whatever reason with my mom, it was something very, I felt this very special bond, and it was hard, but I think I felt a lot of pain and blockages because of that as well.
Wow. You chose quite the incarnation.
Yeah, right.
Send me down. I want to love my mom so much that I'm gonna have to let go of her, and that's gonna be painful. And I want to be attracted to the opposite sex that society believes you can't be attracted to.
Yeah, the same sex.
The
Yeah.
same sex, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and not just the church. Yeah, like society in
Whew.
general. I mean,
Society in
obviously,
general.
there's been a big change throughout my lifetime, in that. And now, but even still in spiritual communities, I still experience some different levels of discrimination to various degrees, I
Absolutely. It
would
still
say.
exists. So you're
Yeah,
picking up on it in the field of the collective consciousness.
yeah.
And it's, whew, I know for a long time I had it. I was on the other side where in school I would be just, it was a casual thing to say that's gay, like
Hmm.
as if that's bad. It
Yeah,
wasn't at all, it was totally not at all related to two sexes being
yeah.
attracted to the same, whatever, the same sex being attracted to each other. It was just a word of like, oh, that sucks. And wow, coming through the awakening process and looking back on the terminology that came out of my mouth,
Yeah.
I mean, wow, you can feel the separation of the soul from the body at that point in time. Because when you do go through the awakening, you feel like you are this chi, God self energy. You don't discriminate,
Hmm.
you don't judge. And Jesus had this really beautiful saying. He said that evil is in the eye of the beholder. It's so special. It's one of the most beautiful things ever. So, yeah, I'm glad you bring this up.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Um, yeah, and not only like, I guess like sometimes I would struggle with uh, what it means to. Well, I guess I never felt like when I tried to go into gay culture, let's say, when I was older and
Yeah.
started to explore my sexuality a little bit more, I never felt any connection with gay culture at all. Like, I just didn't have I didn't feel a lot of resonance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like it was almost like society was telling you, if you are gay, you need to act like this. And I just was
Yeah.
never, I guess I was never like a typical gay guy. And um yeah, and that has its challenges.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Because you're almost more alienated.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have a bubble per se that you can immediately plug into because you are not resonant with the other bubbles that exist. I would
Yeah.
also love to say, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I would say that coming to Vinau and meeting you and knowing that you were gay through whatever reason, I don't know, maybe you had told me or maybe it was through a friend of a friend, I just still felt so comfortable and like we were homies, and
Yeah.
that I never felt I'd never felt a weird energy of any kind. And we had a moment where we were watching the sunset. I don't know if we were holding hands or something,
Yeah.
meditating.
I remember.
Yeah, I don't know if we were hugging or holding hands. I think we were
Yeah.
just holding hands while
Yeah.
meditating. It was so special. It was so great. And then we were like joking about how, wow, but now needs to start doing cuddle puddles where we all just like hang out and watch movies and stuff.
Yeah, and for me that was really healing experience, bro, because yeah, like sometimes straight guys can be a little bit weird.
Yes.
Just and I'm very respectful, and I'm very yeah, like not like a, I don't know. Yeah, I'm very respectful, but I guess uh sometimes, when a straight guy is like fully open and willing to touch and cool and
Yeah.
comfortable and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's really nice experience for me. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh, me. I mean, I feel the same way with anybody at any time. Just the other day, I was with Veronica and Anita, and I felt called to just massage Veronica's like back. Now we have a good relationship; we're good friends, but it's not common where friends maybe feel comfortable enough to hold your hand randomly or give you a massage or just like a deep hug. And for me, I definitely recognize that and feel that because I can feel when there is a sense of resonance and an openness from the other being to be able to connect in a more intimate way that is still platonic,
Yeah.
And to me, it's one of the most special things ever that we can experience love platonically.
Mm-hmm.
Love is not just a physical sex thing. It
Yeah.
is not at all what it is. Love is an energy that you pick up
Yeah.
anywhere at any time through anything.
Yeah. It's this frequency, this this energy, what we really are. And yeah, I think that it's cool to see our community like coming to shift that paradigm of this one special person and this romantic love,
Yes.
which is amazing if you have that in your life, and to share in that way, I think
Yeah.
is amazing. It can be this even a very absolutely divine and healing experience. But shifting as like a general rule more to this loving everyone,
Ever
loving
unconditional.
everyone in our community, expressing love, showing affection.
Yeah.
You do this practice of qigong, and you feel this qi, and then you take that energy throughout your day, and then
Whew.
you're embodying that energy with all the people you're interacting with, and you're loving everyone,
Yes.
and because everyone is you, so
Ah, yay.
you're just loving you, loving yourself and all these other versions of yourself, through all these versions.
How do you explain to somebody that everyone is you who thinks that they're just a body?
um that's a good question. Yeah. um Well, for one, I'm just always telling people, like, if someone tells me they don't like something about someone, like my first thing I'm gonna say to them is like, "Oh, they're you."
Default.
What are they showing you about yourself? And you can trigger them a little bit, but it's good just to like shift right away, because
Yeah.
we kind of default to this idea of separation, and then when we see something we don't like in someone else,
Uh,
it's them, it's not me,
yeah,
and so just
exactly.
immediately shifting to it. They're showing me something that I need to accept about myself, that I need to integrate,
Yeah.
that I need to and to just love exactly how it is, and in the moment of the process of their process that they're in, exactly how they are.
Yeah.
um, and and also, like, when you see another, for me, when I see someone that I find maybe they're vibrating a lot of abundance, and they have a lot of great things, a lot of material things, or if they're embodying a certain energy that I think is very attractive or very cool, rather than if they were separate, if holding on to this idea of separation, then um, I could be envious, that they have these things. I could be jealous
Yeah.
because I also want to have that relationship that they have as
Uh,
well. But knowing that they're me, I don't know, I just it's really helpful for me to
yes.
and it just becomes an inspiration rather than any of these
Wow.
kind of lower vibrations, because they're me, and they're having this experience, and they're embodying this, and they're manifesting and attracting all these amazing things. Man, they're me, so they're showing me what I'm capable of, and I see it as an inspiration to um, yeah, like I'm capable of doing that too. And if someone says something to me like, yeah, like, it's really cool the life you're living, and it's very inspiring, and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm you, so you can do it too. So for me, I just kind of like always drop into that. It's either something I don't like, loving and accepting that part of myself, integrating it, or looking at someone that I think is really awesome, and then just taking it as pure inspiration to know if they're doing it, I can do it too, because they're me.
uh,
Yeah.
this should be the short or trailer to the podcast, Yale. Yale's our man in the behind the curtains who makes everything come to life. That was an incredible thread. Something came up for me while you were going down that thread, which is that how do you explain in layman terms the idea of separation to somebody who doesn't understand it? And then I want to go into something else that I have for you also.
Yeah, it's this activity of our mind. I don't know. It just or what we might call the ego.
Yeah.
It just constantly seems to try to convince us that we're separate, that person is not us, and there's something else. And it is really the greatest illusion.
Oh my God!
It is the biggest illusion. It is the illusion of Maya that that we are. And it makes sense, man. We're born into a society that conditions us to believe this, and to also to be very to trust the mind and to connect with the mind much more than we do with our heart, and the heart that knows unity and knows that the other people are us. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I guess it's this. Yeah, really, I would define it as this activity of the mind that just.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's very convincing. No?
So convincing.
It's crazy. And even when you're walking and you're really conscious and you know all these things like intellectually that everyone's me and and that we're all one and all this, and you know it, and a lot of times you might feel it in your heart even, and you're living it. And then all of a sudden, just like 10 minutes later, it's like, oh, that bitch. That person is not me,
Fuck my neighbor. Why are they acting like that?
And it's really remarkable how the mind, this activity doesn't, we can do practices and things too. And we can practice more of a mind-heart coherence. But this activity doesn't seem to stop.
Yeah.
Even when we are in the heart, the mind just keeps doing its thing to some degree. But it's cool because, at some point in our awakening, we understand these concepts intellectually.
Yes.
And, this idea of oneness can be found in like almost every philosophy or religion or ancient text, or it's this
tribe.
And so it's definitely something that we know is the ultimate truth,
Yeah.
And yet we experience our reality and totally the opposite. So, but yeah, we're saying you know these things intellectually, but as you continue on the process, the feeling of oneness, or the way that you experience others, not just knowing that they're you, but you, I don't know, for me, more and more, I when I interact with people, I notice their quirkiness, or like I notice little things about me, and I'm like, oh, that's me, and I'm like quirky in that way. I'm so funny, that I act this way. Or like, even if like a part of me is doing, a version of me is doing something that we might call a low vibration, let's say. Just looking at them and then finding the appreciation for whatever you can in that moment, and seeing that version of you in their more divine self. And it's funny because it's bringing me like so much joy throughout my day when you start like observing and knowing, not only knowing but feeling that they're you, and then just you can appreciate all these different parts of you, these quirky parts of you, these very funny, these whatever. It doesn't and there's wide and everyone is teaching you and showing you a different part of yourself, and it's quite when you're in that feeling, it's quite a beautiful experience on the daily, I must say.
It's the best.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah, we're funny, no? We do so many funny things. It's like when you really start observing all the things we do, it's like, and then you just find, and then there's like a love and appreciation, feeling that comes with it, and it
overflows out of your beingness.
And we're just hilarious. And we do so many things that are, maybe not in our highest good, or maybe not creating so much harmony amongst us.
Yeah.
And yet, we came here to have all these different experiences and just
Yeah.
observe and love all these other parts of us, no matter what experience they're currently having.
Yeah.
And whatever, what you might call more low vibrational or dark, even energies, whatever you want to call it. These are perfectly valid choices for people
Yeah.
to choose in
To
this
choose.
lifetime, and to keep choosing. And we're given a choice in this
You can be evil.
reality.
It's super fun to be evil
Yeah.
if you want. Go for it,
Yeah,
man.
and
You
to
choose your
manipulate,
character.
control.
You want to
And
run the world and go
yeah,
full Hitler? Whew,
it's available.
it's
It's an option,
available.
And I like to think like it's not only is it available, but it's valid.
Yes,
We often like
absolutely.
shun
Yeah, of
these
course.
these parts of us, or even reject these parts of us,
Yeah,
or judge them so much that they're so evil and they're so.
of course.
And yet, this is to be a more negatively polarized being in this reality is a perfectly valid choice. In fact, that is the reason that we're here
Yeah.
to polarize, to choose which polarization, which polarity do we want to
Do we
embody
want?
in this 3D.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the 3D. No,
Yeah.
is so we get to choose. And so if someone's choosing that, they're just making a perfectly valid choice, and yeah, and it's okay. And finding joy and loving them in exactly whatever choice they're making. And this is actually takes you above the. When you do that, you start actually rising above just the polarities. Even you start to transcend this
Yeah.
positive and this negative, and you have this. You're operating more in this third force.
This non-dual
Yeah,
realm.
yeah, and this is how you win the game.
This is how you win the game.
Yeah.
Wow, we call it. I don't know. I think it's Wuxin, Wuhsin, which means no mind in Chinese or Japanese, or non-duality, or Advaita. It's that transcending the dualities. I want to add a point to what you're saying, which was so beautiful. It's so perfectly valid that Osama bin Laden comes in and wants to just be a terrorist and wreak havoc on the world.
Yeah.
People don't understand it. They, like you said, they shun it. And what's so interesting is that in ecclesiastic doctrine, in like the church, if you will, they don't necessarily believe in karma per se, opposed to the East. Like if you read the Bhagavad Gita and people that worship Krishna, karma is the most fundamental concept that you could know immediately as you get into that practice. But what's so funny is that Jesus had prayers for his disciples, and some of the prayers that he spoke of that have been recorded and that's still calibrated very, very true, because obviously much has been distorted. I'm going to butcher it and go somewhere along the lines of this is what it was, but it said, Lord, I pray not that you take them out of this world, but that you protect them from the evils that exist within this world. He was praying over his disciples so that when he was crucified, they would have the capacity to be protected from the Father, with the Father, protected by the Father, from the evils and the polarities that exist in this world that want to absolutely kill the light, even though they never can. And it's a beautiful thing because it speaks to the idea that the world is perfect as it is always.
Mm-hmm.
There is never an imperfect moment. It doesn't matter that the person blew up the Twin Towers or that he wanted to rule the world and killed millions of people, Adolf Hitler, whoever it is. Yeah, it's a tragedy. It sucks. Oh man, it causes a lot of trauma in the lineages, and it fucking sucks. But at the end of the day,
it creates disharmony.
It creates disharmony. But at the end of the day, if you can zoom out far enough to realize entropy, but if you can zoom out far enough to realize that you chose to come here, everything shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Everything shifts. And that's the awareness that you've been speaking of, which has been so beautiful, this awareness of everyone is me. And a lot of the ways that I also see it is I chose to come here.
Yeah.
And, you might not believe it because like when my dad, whenever I have this conversation with him, he's always saying, no, that's not how it works. It's kind of like you roll the dice. Some people are luckier than others. And luck is the most hilarious concept in the world once you have the awakening.
Yeah.
Because there is no such thing as chance. Roll the dice. That's just not how it works at the highest level. But it certainly gets perceived as that to a rational Darwinian Newtonian thinker who can't go beyond the limiting linear paradigm to the nonlinear
Mm-hmm.
quantum paradigm.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan also of realizing that though we are in this world, we are not of it, which was
Mm-hmm.
another quote from Jesus that came through. And
Yeah.
it's so obvious that we've had past lives. Just
Yeah.
look at what the man said, but yet
Yeah.
Christianity doesn't fully adopt the belief that karma
Mm-hmm.
exists. And another hilarious concept on this that I just received a week ago was that if I meet someone who believes in Jesus Christ and they're a Christian, they don't believe in karma. It's hilarious because why would you need a savior? Why would you need the savior Jesus Christ? What is he saving you from? What is he dying on the cross for?
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to take on all of the karma of mankind and be the example of the Christ, the Father, the Godfather, the
Mm-hmm.
Holy Spirit, the divine energy that is. And that's the evil that he speaks of, is these people that have chosen to want to rule the world.
Yeah. And and the karma will come around for them, like
It will.
that's the other thing too.
They don't know it.
I don't need to get so upset, and I don't need to get so
Nope.
angry that they exist or that they're doing all
Yeah.
these evil things and stuff, that doesn't help anything,
Zero.
and this law of karma, that's a part of this reality, is it's going to do its thing, and it's really just like anytime that we stray from the law of one, like the law of oneness and the law of love, and karma is just playing its role to help us bring us back
Bring us back
to
home.
that law, and so it
Yeah.
really is of great service. Yes, it can be a total bitch. And sometimes it's really heavy, and we're facing like such crazy we can't understand why the craziest traumatic whatever things are happening to us in this lifetime, and yet it's all just playing this role to help us come back to that truth, that that this law of one and love. And
so beautiful hearing you speak right now. This has
thanks.
been the most beautiful conversation thus far. It's truly incredible.
Yeah, I'm vibing too, man.
I've seen you in so many different ages. I've seen you in your 50s and like in your 70s. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've had that moment with me, but I fully saw you as a grandpa.
Yeah. Oh, nice. I hope I was still cute.
No, dude, beautiful. I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you about Cappy, but first I wanted to say, in your journey, how important was the medicine for helping you open up and awaken to something beyond just physicality?
Yeah, so I think that there's quite a lot of plant medicines in this reality available to us.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for them and the role that they've played. And yeah, my experience of them is they just help accelerate this process of awakening is one that's natural, and it's happening all on its own. And life is constantly giving us the catalyst to awaken and remember. But sometimes we need help.
Yes.
Sometimes we're really lost, or we're going really slow. It's happening, but it's really slow. Or we're doing lifetimes of.
We need a guru, a real one. Please.
And so I appreciate the plant medicines, because they just they're an accelerant. They can help accelerate our process. And for me, I'm like, why not? Because obviously, always with intention and moderation. If those things are present, then I think like totally, why not? Because I'll take all the help I can get. If I can clear my trauma faster, if I can feel more life force energy sooner, if I can
step into abundance.
Yeah, step into abundance sooner. All these things are going to be beneficial for me.
Absolutely.
And for me, the sooner, always sooner than later. And so I'm happy to work with the plants to help accelerate this process. And I guess I've worked with different ones over the years, and they've all played their roles at different points. It would have been psilocybin and mushrooms.
Yeah.
And also ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Both like I've done in both like more traditional shamanic version and also in a more alchemical style.
What is the
Um,
difference, real quick? Just brief overview.
the main difference is that in the alchemy practice, it's the same medicine, but it does not have the blessing of the shaman.
Got
So
it.
the way I could describe the experience is it's a little bit more less all over the place. It feels like a little bit more you're still in this reality. You're a little bit more grounded. Less trippy, less ancestral, less. I found when I did it with shaman, it was kind of like all over the place, and you feel like you're dying and you're not going to come back,
Yeah.
and and that has its benefits, absolutely. And just of course, just coming back from
That does have its
that
benefits.
experience and just being alive and just the
Whew.
gratitude you feel that you're alive and you're not crazy the rest of your life, is nice, and yet
To just make it through. To just make
for real.
To
Oh
just
man,
come back. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, or like the sometimes when you're throwing up or
oh man.
yeah, like yeah, like but it's almost like it's a lot. It's almost traumatic in itself.
A
Sometimes
little
I
bit.
feel a
It
little
could be.
bit
It could be.
because it's just so scary. And for me, I guess now I'm practicing more the alchemy version, and it's like a little bit more in this reality, a little bit, I would say, even more intentionally. You also kind of work with energies of the archangels and
Oh.
certain commands you can
Wow,
use
beautiful.
to transform your reality. I do it on the daily, actually, but you can do it
Casual. I do it on the daily. Actually,
not ayahuasca.
not ayahuasca. The practice.
The working with the commands. But when you do it with the ayahuasca, it's even more powerful. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to be organizing a practice here in Vanel soon. So,
Oh wait, really?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one that you've told me about before?
yeah.
So special, dude.
Yeah.
So special.
Yeah, I'm excited for some of the people in our community to get to share that experience. And yeah, most recently, the medicine that I've been working with the most is called capi, which is actually one of the plants found in
Capybara.
yeah, happy capi, yeah, and yeah, it's been, I guess, pretty much 16 months now of taking it on the daily and in
Okay.
different dosages.
Where did you say the plant was
Um,
from? I interrupted.
Yeah. So it's typically found in ayahuasca brew. It's one of the two plants.
Whoa, didn't know that.
Yeah. So it is the plant the MAOI inhibitor plant
Okay.
that allows you to access DMT, which normally our body doesn't access DMT. Our body produces DMT, but we don't access it until maybe like we're dying, for example, or very
Whoa.
select moments.
Wow.
But we normally are not accessing it, because, but for whatever reason, this plant, the MAOI inhibitor, CAPI plant, it allows us to access DMT. And so in this case, you're accessing the DMT that your body is naturally producing. So it does not have DMT in it, but you're accessing subtle amounts of your own DMT, literally getting high on your own supply.
So it's
yeah.
almost like a bridge where you have a natural supply, but for whatever
Mhm.
reason, your body doesn't yet know how to access it.
Yeah.
The cappy acts as the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And so it's cool because you're not really getting high on the cappy. You're actually getting high or whatever. I wouldn't even describe it as getting high, more as it's this subtle feeling of well-being in
Wow.
this subtle feeling, like basically acting like a natural antidepressant. Like everything is okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, like it would be amazing for addictions, because for people who have addictions,
Wow.
which is most people, I think, because you kind of feel good, you feel subtly better. You're kind of okay with your reality. You don't feel this
Yeah.
desire or this,
Yep.
what's the word? Like something like you need something else, this
Impulse.
impulse. Yes. So this
Yeah.
impulse where you feel like I just need something. I need coffee. I need a
Cigarette. I don't know, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever.
Sex.
Weed, sex, yeah, pornography,
some addiction.
whatever, some kind of addiction, that gives
Wow,
you this
powerful.
high, because that will make you feel better temporarily, and then actually make you feel worse afterwards. And it feeds the addiction and makes it worse. It makes you want it more and higher dosages in the future. But this, you just kind of feel good already, and so you're like, yeah, actually, I'm good. I don't really need to some
Wow.
substance or some activity, and also goes really amazing with wellness activities. For example, doing
No surprise.
yoga or qigong or whatever. Like it really helps you enter a state of more deeper relaxation.
Yeah.
It's this like subtle feeling like there's just a little bit more space, like a little bit more space, and then you're able to, drop into that little bit more space that is now available to you, and
Whoa.
you can go deeper and deeper into that space, and the space gets bigger. This is a little bit more, a little bit more,
Whoa.
and you're more relaxed, and yeah, after um, I would say that this medicine is something great for long-term use. In my experience, it's not something you just take once, and something you take over a long period of time. And after I'm at 16 months now, I think, or so,
Whew.
maybe more actually, 18 months. And yeah, after about 7 months of taking it on the daily, I started to get some very strange sensations in my body.
Tell me.
Yeah. And this is when I realized, oh, something beautiful is happening to me. And it's, uh, I, most people wouldn't understand it, or like, I just, it's a feeling. It's a feeling that I just started feeling. Basically, it's this either an itchiness or like a sharp pain sometimes. More oftentimes it's itchiness. But what it is, it's this density, whatever any form of hi Kuma.
Hi, Coombs. Density.
It's this density that whatever it is, impressions, trauma, old stories, whatever it is. Hi Kuma.
Hi, Coombs.
Hi, I know. It's
You
so
can-
exciting, isn't it?
You can be with Papa if you want to jump
Yeah.
up. Does she want to lay
Um,
on your lap?
Yeah, do you want to come, Kumara? Kuma, come.
Do you-
Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay.
Um,
Sharp razor blade.
so yeah, this itchiness or sharp pains, I started to feel it on the daily or often. Before sometimes might feel it when I did yoga or right after a practice or something.
Uh-huh.
But then I started feeling it after 7 months of taking the cappy, just all the time on the daily,
Whoa.
all day long. I could feel this. It just feels like something like this density, this stuck energy is coming off. Yeah. And that's how I knew something very beautiful was happening. And
Wow.
it continued to increase. And also, my body feels lighter, lighter, and lighter. I feel more often like I'm floating, almost falling and floating at the same time.
Whoa.
Kind of this nice combination of this. And I mean, there was a lot. Don't get me wrong. This is already like a year, I would say, of feeling this on the daily, all day long, at increasing rates of this density coming off, and it's still going. It's still coming off, and
Whoa.
so there was a lot in there, it seems,
Uh-huh.
and yet having this feeling and knowing that this process was happening was incredibly reassuring for me, especially when I was
Wow.
facing a lot of challenges in life or very emotional experiences or catalysts that sometimes just felt like too much for me to bear.
Yeah.
Just having this subtle feeling and knowing that this process and awakening was happening, by feeling it was just so helpful for me over these
Wow.
for this last little bit. And yeah, I really believe that the Cappy played a role in helping that process happen. And yeah, it's also serving me in many other ways as far as creating art, teaching qigong, in my relationships, and also my dreams. Your dreams become incredibly vivid, like
Whew.
unbelievably vivid to the next level. Like
Whoa.
it's like adventure time every night, all night long. Sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 intense dreams. You're really going into this subconscious,
Wow.
and or maybe even different, what I would understand as different timelines or different versions of
Yeah.
myself
Yeah.
that are happening simultaneously. And I'm going into those, and I feel that there's like an integration happening even while I sleep,
Yeah. Wow.
and it feels like it's like they're resolving themselves. I
Wow.
sometimes the feelings are very uncomfortable and very strong. You wake up and it's almost like, oh my god, like
Whoa.
takes a little bit to come back. And yet I just feel like filled with this knowingness that what's happening is beautiful. Hi, Kumara. Yeah, I know. It's so exciting.
Oh,
Thank
she
you.
wants your loves.
Yes, this is Kuma.
Kuma's
Um,
the best.
yeah, and yeah, just I just feel filled with a knowingness that something really beautiful is happening within my body, and even when the emotions are strong, and or even the reflections on the outside haven't really caught up with necessarily how I'm feeling. Sometimes it feels like there's a delay.
Sure.
Like things are chaotic even. Um, Yes, I know. Okay, you can
She
stay
wants to
there,
be in the shot.
Kumara. Yeah,
She's stealing the
yeah.
show for a bit.
You're prettier than Dad anyway. So,
Wow.
yeah. I just even in the midst of the chaos and the emotions, I just know something wonderful is happening, and there's also an acceleration to it. It just goes faster and faster, and there's a momentum in this. There's more energy flow, which is
Mm.
just pushing. It's pushing the remaining stuff out
Yeah.
all day long. It's
The
pushing. It's
the
coming out.
channels are opening and the
This,
gunk is like like coming out of
yeah,
the river channel. It's like the chakras
yeah,
are opening and now the gateways are clearing the garbage.
yeah. Or some yogis might say that Kundalini Shakti is doing her cleansing process.
They would say
Yeah,
that.
like and I'm grateful. I'm really grateful of what's happening. It's been a long journey. 12 years ago, I said, and I
Whew.
must say, I still feel pain sometimes, and
Yeah, me too. I got body
oftentimes
pains.
when stuff's coming out, it's extremely painful actually,
Yeah.
and uncomfortable. More than anything, this process has been about like leaning into the pain, and for me, even sometimes doing things that cause me pain, like things like basically trying to feel as much pain as I can without resistance. And as long as I don't
Allowing
resist
it to
it,
come up.
yeah, yeah, it comes up naturally, and life presents us with
Yeah.
the situations and catalysts to let it come up by itself. Um, but yeah, just feeling into that, lean into it, and then just not resisting, and
Yeah.
then it comes out, and
Wow.
you just do that over and over and over again, and that's why I mentioned it takes a lot of devotion
It
because
does.
um, and I think it's the hardest and yet the greatest accomplishment we can do, not only for ourselves but for us as a collective.
Yeah.
Um, because when you're healing this part of us,
Yeah.
that's the part of us that you have control over. So that's really what you're capable of
Wow.
doing, and it's the greatest gift. And then you're just gonna be walking around like naturally
In
loving
peace.
everyone. And just
Uh,
your presence will become healing to others.
I get
And
that reflection a lot where people will
yeah,
just be like, wow, I just feel so calm and at peace next to you. It's so nice to just
yeah,
they'll sit next to you. And sometimes it's just people I don't necessarily know. Like I was
yeah.
flying through the airport one time, I was leaving Portugal, and I was sitting next to these two younger women. They were in their early 20s. And they were so giggly and laughy. And I was just in a different energy. I was just chilling there meditating because that's just what I felt like. And we got on the bus, and then they were standing next to me, and they were just like, wow, we just wanted to let you know that we felt so much peace sitting next to you.
Nice.
Like we were laughing and giggling, but I don't know, man, you're just so calm. Like it's
Yeah,
so, and
I can see why
meanwhile,
people feel that around you. Yeah.
everybody else in the airport's like standing there, kind of like holding their bags. I'm just sitting on the ground meditating because I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know when the bus is coming. The bus took 30 minutes to come, and like after 20 minutes, people were putting their bags down, like starting to finally get comfortable.
Yeah,
And they were like, "Yeah, you were so comfy and
yeah,
cozy."
yeah.
And
You're like this walking beacon of light and peace,
yeah,
and it's on subtle levels sometimes,
yeah, it
but people pick
is.
up on it, and and they just feel subtly better when they're around you.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, I feel that's happening more and more with myself as well.
yeah.
Um,
I always feel it when I'm with you. Even like the other day when you we were at Casa Vanau with Alan, and I walked in, and you told me you were feeling sad, and I was just like, oh, cool, that's great. I didn't pick
Mhm.
up on any sadness or feel it. Like when you said it, I could definitely, like, if I wanted to tune into it, I could pick up on it. But just in
Mhm.
general, I feel so at peace around you. Your energy feels so soft and neutral, and just it doesn't feel like it's radiating out into other people's auras, because
Mhm.
it feels as though you're experiencing something, but you're allowing it to come through you. You're not projecting it out onto other people, trying to dump it on people because you don't know how to process it. You
Right.
know how to process it. And I can tell that, and I can feel that. And I felt that when we were at Casa Vanau, and you just, I was like, what's up? And you're like, I'm just feeling kind of sad. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, incredible. I love that opening statement so much, because, a lot of people don't feel comfortable to
Right.
even verbalize that
Mhm.
and speak it and vocalize it out.
But the energy was still there. The underlying energy of peace and
Yeah, it's
um,
always there.
I really like one thing I really like about qigong is it's uh, it's sort of about embodying this archetype that we might call the gentle warrior or the peaceful warrior,
Oh, I love that.
and it's this beautiful combination of like you're very gentle, you're very peaceful, you're calm, you're centered, um, and at the same time you have cultivated all of this strength of mind, willpower,
Yeah.
um, this warrior spirit where you
Wow.
don't give up and um, yeah, it's this strength and it's this beautiful combination. And yeah, this is the energy that I always feel like, at least like this is the energy I want to embody. Because
Yeah.
not only am I very attracted to it in others, it's also what the same energy that I feel like, yeah, I want to be that.
Peace warrior.
Yeah, peaceful warrior.
Oh,
And
so special.
yeah, and yeah, I like with the practice you cultivate this strength and this strength of mind and the discipline, and then when you face challenges and catalysts throughout your life, you can handle it from that place of peace
Yeah.
and focus on solutions, and not lose your shit,
Yeah.
basically. Because yeah, there's a lot of challenges in this life. Mm.
What were some of the, do you want to drop in on the cappy?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay.
Um, what were some of the, I got it. I think I'm closer. What were some of the transformational texts that allowed you to have the awareness that you have now?
Good question. Thank you.
I just wanted to say it before I forget, but let's enjoy the cappy and take a moment.
Okay, 1 second. Nice. So
So
it's
where can
just
people find it, dude?
yeah. Great question. I believe it is the website's not on here,
Okay.
but
But it's called
Happy
Happy
Cappy.
Cappy.
Yeah,
And is it spelled HAPPY?
HAPPYCAPPI is the new branding. Yeah,
CAPPI.
Cappy is the plant.
If we have a website, we'll put it in the description below for people.
All right.
Um
Kuma wants some Cappy
Kuma
also.
wants Cappy.
Nice. So it's just like this honey, and it tastes really good.
It does taste incredible.
And yeah, and within a minute, you're already feeling like the effects a little bit more of a
It's so subtle.
subtle feeling of well-being, and yeah, like everything's okay.
So you gave me a little bottle like that, and I went through it in about a week. Did you take half?
I think it took a little bit less. You
Okay.
can feel free to take as much as you want.
I didn't necessarily feel it to the point. It's so subtle to the point where you almost question, is it functioning? And then there's moments and you're like, ah. And
Yeah.
I almost feel like you need to. It would be better if you've never tried anything like, I don't know, any type of plant medicine or anything. It would be wise to do some cappy and then go into a yoga flow,
Mm-hmm.
not just do it and sit, or maybe meditate and do
Yeah.
some wellness activity like you said, because I
Yeah.
feel that it amplifies the effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just like any working with any plant medicine, the more intentional you are with its use. I know. Just chill. Come on. the better the experience and more healing and fulfilling I believe it will be. Going back to your question about the text, it's a good question. I have always felt this strong resonance with the teachings of Jesus. Yeah,
What?
yeah. Like since I was little, I remember like in Sunday school, and I would see a picture of Jesus, and just being so like fascinated by him and being like, I want to be like him, and it was always there for me. Not just because church was telling me that was these things. I just always felt this connection. It was unexplained, and even though I'm not like a Christian anymore, and there's a lot of things let's say many things in the Bible or in Christianity that I don't feel a lot of resonance with.
Yeah.
Uh, the teachings of Jesus have always remained there for me.
So special.
Yeah, and I just sometimes I love to read the Gospels or different books about Jesus. Like and yeah, I just like I don't know. I feel so much resonance, and it's funny because like I kind of have a look like I look like Jesus with the
Yes,
the
you
beard and the
do.
long hair.
You do.
And I guess since I was little, that's something that I wanted to embody,
Me.
And yeah, I think he was, obviously a very enlightened, ascended being. And recently, I've been studying a lot this about a group called the Essenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. Tell me more.
Basically, it was an offset of Judaism at the time of Jesus, and there's a lot of evidence to suggest that Jesus was an Essene, and they lived in the Qumran Valley outside of Jerusalem, and kind of were more. They carried on like okay, Qumran, okay, like ancient knowledge from Kabbalah, maybe from Zoroastrianism, like very ancient knowledge, a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like keeping it alive, basically, the knowledge.
Wow.
And yeah, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that Jesus was an Essene. And then yeah, he like criticized the Pharisees and the Sadducees, for all the hypocrisy that they were doing and the blood sacrifices and everything. And yeah, the Essenes were not doing this. They were. And yeah, there's a lot of amazing knowledge. I've been reading. They found the Dead Sea Scrolls there.
I've heard of this, yes.
Yeah, and yeah, but it's just been
Have
like
you read
starting
them?
to. I haven't read them. No, I just started reading what's called the Essene Gospel of Peace.
Okay.
Which I guess I think is also from that same discovery. I'm not sure, but yeah, I just feel so much resonance with it and so drawn to it. And it's all about living peacefully and living according to the law of love and the law of one. And
beautiful.
You also work with different angels, and I'm still learning, but yeah, it's very intriguing for me. And also, I seem very fascinated with the diet that they recommend. I'm starting to shift my diet to more of the diet that they suggest.
Okay.
And basically, the diet is not just giving your body what it needs, the minerals and the nutrients and everything that you would get from food normally for your body, but it's also about considering the amount of chi or life force energy that this food has.
Whoa.
So it's considering both.
Cool.
And yeah, it's very interesting. Basically, the diet is mostly plant-based. Like no meat, or if you need to eat some meat, then ideal is to eat fish. And I'm eating fish. I eat here. I'm living beside the ocean, so
yeah,
it feels okay for me. And the fish have a relatively free life. But also some of the funny things, they really recommend drinking raw milk, dates,
I love dates.
blueberries,
Oh,
and eggs from chickens that are free. My Kuma's very excited right now. I think all the talk about food, she's getting hungry. She wants some eggs.
I love how in it she is. It's really fun.
Yeah, go check that out. Kuma, go. Okay, good. And yeah, some of the other tips they suggest, obviously, to eat as local as possible is good, like the most directly from the land as
Yeah.
possible. Another funny thing they say is to chew your food a lot.
Oh,
Um,
that's a brilliant tactic.
yeah, and even with smoothies, like or solid food, you put it in your mouth, that bite, and then instead of 3 4 bites, you do 30 chews of that same thing.
Wow.
And yeah, it's not great for social dinners or when you're out in public, but when you're out at home, it's very difficult to do
Wow,
actually.
it's a
Takes a lot of
practice.
discipline. But even since I started integrating that more, again, it's like a process that I'm integrating more and more of the diet. Yeah, I've been feeling really, really good, and it's incredible for your digestion. This is the most amazing thing.
I was about to
So,
say,
yeah,
scientifically speaking, a good friend of mine, Matt Gallant, who's the founder of Bioptimizers, has done research on this, and he wrote a book called How to Become Superhuman, I think is what it is. And one of the chapters or pages in it talks about how people chew like 1/8 of the amount of time that they should be chewing their food. They did a study, and it's one of the big things is gut health that they were speaking of. So it's crazy that this is ancient, thousands of years ago.
yeah,
Today's world, scientifically, yes, you should be doing it.
yeah,
It's like
yeah. That keeps happening.
keeps happening.
Eh?
Wow. I was also gonna joke that maybe Kangen machine would have been on their list, but the technology wasn't there. So
Yeah, yeah. Clean water is also so important.
for sure.
I've been drinking spring water.
Yeah.
The obviously the Kangen water is a very good option as well.
Yeah.
Um, what else?
Did you read the Gita?
No, I
Interesting.
haven't.
It feels like you have.
I read Upanishads.
Okay, Upanishads is great.
Yeah, but
Pretty
I
much the same.
never read the Gita.
I
No.
loved the Upanishads. You would love the Gita too.
Yeah, yeah, I imagine.
The Upanishads is like the primitive tribe of sages that just wrote the most beautiful and incredible stuff. And then the Gita is, oh wow, Krishna coming down to tell a story. And it feels totally different, but all the same stuff is what they're talking about. Super
Yeah,
fun.
cool. Yeah, and I mean, I haven't read the Quran or.
I haven't either, yeah.
I'd actually be interested to see this list that you have, the vibration of the different texts.
Yeah. It's in the
Uh,
cafe.
yeah,
I'll have
okay,
to
yeah,
show
I
you
wanna
where that
check that out
is.
because then that will give you a better idea of where it could be
Yeah.
putting my attention. But yeah, like I mentioned, right now I'm just started reading this Seeing Gospel of Peace.
Wow.
And yeah, but I read a lot of nonfiction books in general as well. It's funny because I now I'm kind of picking books based more around the feeling that I get when I see
Yeah.
it or when I
Yeah.
pick it up, or especially when I read it. Like I feel it's not even so much based on the content, just like but it's just how do I feel when I'm
Is your
reading
heart called
this?
to it?
Is it bringing me a sense of peace?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been cool. That's I recently started doing when I'm picking books and reading books and yeah, and just seeing if you can maintain that state of well-being while you're sitting there reading this book, and because this is the state of what we really are, and it's also the state that's going to manifest all of our dreams.
Yeah.
It's going to come from that place, and yeah, it's this beautiful process of stepping into that state more and more of the time. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and we're doing great.
We are doing so good.
Yeah.
We're doing really good, man. It's been a big shift for me because when I was deep in the business world, I was so analytical and rational, and this concept of following my heart or just doing what brings me joy and peace and love, it was present in the sense that I loved what I was doing in the business realm, but the levels of love that I had experienced that I could reference was limited to the business realm.
Right.
And in that process of scaling a business and running a business and doing that whole journey, I wasn't able to really access levels of love that I'm able to access now doing this nonprofit thing, Satori, and just having fun shooting the shit about the universe with whoever I want to shoot the shit with.
Yeah.
it's so fun, and the levels of joy and heart-opening experiences are ridiculous compared to what it was prior. And it, to your point of, I think we're both doing great. I think we're both doing great.
Yeah, I mean, not just both of us, all of us.
All of us.
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It might not look like we're doing great sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if you like read the news or anything, which I don't recommend. But
Yeah.
yeah, but we are really,
mankind is progressing.
Yeah.
We are.
And buckle up, because it's only going to accelerate in
Ooh,
this
you gotta get some Cappy.
5-10 years.
You gotta get ready or something.
Yeah. Really, honestly, I think
Yeah.
this next few years are going to be very interesting, and I've just felt such a need to train my nervous system.
Wow.
Because like things might be on the outside, get a little chaotic.
Yeah. And when
Like,
when you say this, how I understand that is, we are, mankind is the collective consciousness, and so when there's a lot of pain, suffering, and grief going on collectively, we experience that regardless if we're in paradise in the middle of nowhere, not in a war. If World War III breaks out all of a sudden, we will energetically feel it regardless if we're on the front lines or not.
Yeah, it's a part of us.
It's a part of us. And I also,
It's a part of us that wants to come up so it can finally be cleansed and to be let go of.
Yeah.
And healed for good. Yeah. But that process is, we're going to have to really see what we don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to, from that desire, we can just let it go in and then create a more peaceful future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We picked level hard, no?
Yeah.
What were we thinking?
I don't know, man.
We're so brave.
100 more years,
I
it would have been
can't
probably
believe-
way easier.
I always come back to this, like when I'm in the middle of things, and I'm just like,
wow, why
I'm
did I incarnate?
so fucking brave.
Yeah.
Really. Wow. Like, man, and the fact that I chose this, and
Yeah.
knowing this, and
Yeah. Tremendous courage.
yeah, from all of us. And we risk getting lost for lifetimes.
Yeah.
Being completely disconnected from our true essence and what we really are, and
It's insane.
the suffering that comes from that experience. And we risked it all just so that we could have this experience and then have the joy of remembering what we really are. Yeah, because we're brave like that, and we like a challenge.
Peace
My
warriors.
God, we like a challenge. Yeah.
Man, we fucking do. How to transcend the mind.
And we
Oh
have
my
some fun along the way
God.
also.
So
Yeah,
much fun.
we have some fun too.
so much fun.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's just reassuring to know that there is a resolution to this mess that we're in the middle of still. That it's coming. Everything that comes apart and separates and loses itself, it's got to come back together again. And we're just in this process of remembering it, and it's messy, and
Yeah.
but it will come to its inevitable resolution. And so in that we can take a lot of certainty and peace and trust from that knowingness.
It's
Yeah.
also so liberating to understand the concept of remembrance and to realize that, you come in, you pass through the veil. We call it Maya's veil or whatever you want to call it. You forget everything. Unless you're an avatar like Jesus Christ. I'm not an avatar like Christ. I forgot everything.
I seem to have forgotten
I
quite a
forgot.
lot
I
also.
forgot everything. I was in Edmonton, Alberta. I was in the public schooling system. I mean, I was playing a lot of Xbox when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Forgot everything. And it's so liberating because when you have that awareness, there's a degree of softness that you can have for yourself. Wow, okay, yeah, I'm just going through the journey of coming back to my soul while being in the physical vessel that
Yeah.
Jesus would refer to as the flesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always tell myself, oh, Leigh, that was the whole point. You did great because, you were lost. Like, that
Yeah.
was the whole point,
Yeah.
to get lost and then to come back home again to yourself. So I always, whenever I observe something even from a week ago that was just like really not, I was like,
Yep.
oh, that was the whole
That was
point.
the point.
Yeah. And I just constantly reassuring myself with that.
Mm.
Or like I look on, past Leigh sometimes from 5 years ago and the
Yep.
stuff he was doing and the things he was doing and his level of awareness and whatever. And,
Ah.
we don't need to go into that, but,
No.
like, I'm just like loving that Leigh, loving that past Leigh. 'Cause,
Yeah, man.
again, that was the whole point.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
That's why photos are so beautiful. And that's why I'm so excited about these podcasts, because we're capturing consciousness through the lens of a camera, through the mic. And it's a point in time that's being captured and put on display. And then all of mankind can go and see it. But what's even also so special is that time passes, you transform into a new being. A year goes by, and you get to just like click on this video from a year ago,
Yeah.
and feel like Taylor at 27. Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this interview and be like, "What the fuck?"
It's so special. If you have kids, your children one day can be like, "Oh, let's tune into Dad when he was in his 30s." Like,
yeah, that's cool. And that's definitely one of the aspects I love about being a photographer in this
yeah,
lifetime. I absolutely love it. There's something very special about capturing this moment in time that will never happen again.
right.
And the light and the place and the environment will never be exactly as it is, and
Energy.
the energy of that person, you're catching it in their moment of the process that they're in right now, and it's all so beautiful. And that's one of my favorite things to photograph is with women.
Oh,
I work a lot with just one woman at a time, and we'll do a session, and yeah, helping them, for whatever reason, they're able to just feel quite comfortable with me and in front of the lens. And yeah, it's so amazing to see the joy, to see this reconnection, this with their inner beauty and their own beauty. This feeling of insecurities, watching it fade away, even
yeah.
throughout a 2-hour session, just seeing how they're so
Wow.
much less insecure at the
It's
end.
a little ceremony.
And yeah, it's very powerful, and it just brings me so much joy to do that and have that experience.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that they feel safe with me and
I want to show some of the
comfortable.
photos. I'm going to see if Claudia's cool with us showing the photos on the screen,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the
and
photos
even
you take
some.
are so beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not me, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be me, I think, but now,
It is,
now
but it
I
isn't.
literally feel like I just pick up the camera
Uh,
and I'm just channeling the whole session. I press the button, but
wow,
like
dude.
I'm just like it feels very like in flow
In
and
flow.
effortless even, and I'm grateful. Yeah, and also better than ever. And this is how this energy wants to express itself in a creative way through this vessel that we call Leigh,
Yeah.
and it's doing it in this case through photography. And
Wow.
how does this energy see this person, and how can this energy capture this person
Wow.
and their essence and all the beauty that they are. And it's not just their physical appearance, but you're able to capture that person's essence. And also sometimes I would also describe it as like capturing the inner child,
Oh, so
this true essence of what you are,
beautiful.
that you were embodying
Wow.
more when you were a child.
Ah,
And yes, for whatever reason, yeah, I feel like I'm just able to capture that real inner child, true essence of the
the
person. And
soul.
yeah, and I'm grateful, yeah, to be able to do that, and the joy it brings to others. And also I get to make a lot of money doing it. and
Yay.
travel many places, beautiful places doing it. And it's crazy. Sometimes I finish a photo shoot and the person hands me some money, and I'm like, what? Like, it was
Wait, I get paid to
so
do this?
not in my mind that I was doing this for money. Like, it was just like, really, I was not thinking about it.
You just forget
And
about the cash thing.
yeah, and then they hand me a bunch of cash, and I'm like, all right, woohoo, nice
Wow.
bonus,
Energy.
And that's pretty cool. I'm
That is
grateful
cool.
to be able to make a living doing what I love and continue to create more and more financial abundance. Yeah.
Dude, seeing you call in abundance through your dharma is such a special thing, and it's so rare that there's a being on this earth who goes into something that is aligned with what their soul wanted prior to the incarnation. And I feel that when we can get into that vibratory level of consciousness where we're in our dharma and we're truly following our hearts, or in other words, feeling our hearts and just allowing the heart to lead the path and lead us down the path, that's when you're just doing a photo shoot and you don't realize that you were also going to get paid for this thing. You just completely forget.
And helping the person heal.
And the person's
The
like, it's
person's
like a
having
win,
a
win, win, win,
healing
win, 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 win,
experience.
win,
Yeah.
win, 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 win. And I feel that way. I feel that way fully. I feel that fully with Satori and the nonprofit. It's just this sense of I'm waking up and I have the opportunity to capture consciousness with any being at any time and then display that to mankind for the sole purpose that we will raise the consciousness of humanity by doing so.
Yeah.
Because we give people the opportunity to tune into this frequency, which may be perceived as a foreign language, but it is the natural language, and it is the inner being.
It's the language that our true inner self actually understands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it feels so natural, and I just feel so blessed to be able to have the capacity to even tap into beings that can speak of this language and then have this conversation. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. The amount of beings I've had a conversation of this depth with, it's so special. And I've had these funny reflections where people are like, do you ever think you're going to run out of guests? I don't know, for now it's so small. I'm like, bro, this place is a gateway where infinite souls are passing through, and there's the most incredible souls that are passing through. And there's also
really is.
an incredible selection of beings that live here.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't think I'll ever run out of inspiration to capture beings, let alone myself. That's
I,
a whole journey in itself.
I like to think that we all like agreed in this lifetime to come and meet in Vanau.
Yes.
And we were like, hey, this is the lifetime we're gonna awaken. And we're all gonna play we're all gonna play a role in helping each other awaken. Okay, you're like, oh, I'll be the Qigong teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do the podcast. I'm gonna do light therapy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the rebirthing,
Yeah.
and we're just like showed up here and we're all like found something, not that we're, healed necessarily, whatever that means. But we're all gonna help accelerate each other's awakening,
Yeah.
through whatever practice, or just just by being in each other's reality. And the consciousness, the more life force energy that's flowing through me, I'm able to
Yeah.
embody that certain frequency, and then it will help others to also do the same. So
I love what you said. You've said that a few times in different ways throughout this podcast, but it's really special. And the way I always visualize it, and this is part of why the mission of Satori is to raise the consciousness of mankind, because I see consciousness sort of on a scale in which it's an ocean, if you can imagine. And as one being heals, surrenders the trauma and relinquishes the negative karma that they've accumulated through past lifetimes or this lifetime, as that being heals and comes into a higher level of consciousness, it raises the ocean. And scientifically, if we were to prove this, we would somehow be able to measure the radiance of the field that comes out of us as human beings. And I believe very strongly that like the heart beating has a pulse that ripples through the universe forever. It just never stops, because there's this interconnectivity where our fields beam out, and then the physical vessel ceases to exist, and then we're just a soul, but that soul is also the vessel. So now it's just the beaming from wherever the soul is. And it's really beautiful to just
Yeah.
feel your awareness of speaking to raising the collective consciousness of mankind. And I feel it. The ocean is rising every episode. I'm like, we're doing it.
Nice. Kuma agrees.
Kuma does agree.
Yeah.
Kuma, I love you so much. Me, me, me.
And she wants to play.
She does.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, we're all just learning to reconnect with our heart, no? And this greater knowledge and knowing this, the heart really does know best.
It does.
And you know, the less blockages we have, the more energy flows through our heart, and the more that we feel that connection. I must say, I'm feeling it more and more.
Yeah.
Like even a month passes by, and my connection to my heart just seems
Yeah.
that much stronger.
Yeah.
And going faster. And I'm grateful. It feels great. It feels absolutely wonderful, even in the midst of chaos sometimes.
How do you think someone comes back to oneness and source? Is it just through the modalities of Qigong and yoga and the wellness activities, as well as living in nature, as well as, you know, all the supplements or the different medicines that you can use? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, all those things are
material-
amazing tools. They're all amazing tools.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, having a spiritual practice is definitely an amazing tool, I think, on our journey.
Define a
that I highly
spiritual
recommend.
practice. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it can be anything really, I guess, like, but just a time set aside where
Meditation
you,
could be a spiritual
yeah,
practice.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Meditation, breath work, yoga, qigong, but absolutely, they're amazing tools to help us bring us back into the present moment. Help us to radiate more on the and a level of peace. You know, the peace that you feel when you finish the practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say more than anything, it takes desire and then
Yes.
devotion
Yes.
to see that desire fulfilled.
Wow.
Basically.
I love that.
For me, I would say that's the biggest. It's this. I believe there's a parable in the Bible that's like a man finds a treasure on a property, and it's the most amazing treasure ever. And so he goes out and sells everything he owns so that he can buy the land where the treasure is. And it's this giving up of everything that you value or everything that the world teaches you is or society tells you that you should want.
Yeah, the
or,
Lamborghini and the Ferrari.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mansion.
Or
the truck.
Yeah. Which can also be amazing tools to help us function in this reality.
For
but
sure.
They're not the goal.
No.
This goal of, coming back to your true self and finding peace, or what we might call enlightenment.
Yeah.
Or the yogis would call it
The self.
What does Paramahansa call it?
I don't know. But I know it as the self from the Upanishads and from the Gita.
Self-realization.
Self-realization. Yeah.
Realizing that you're God. So making this the your top priority.
Your top priority.
Your number
Is
one
that your
thing.
top priority?
It's my top
It's
priority.
my fucking number
Yeah.
one priority too.
Well, that's cool. That's funny. It's mine too.
If anyone ever asked me what's your number one goal and desire, I would say to realize
Yeah.
the self fully.
Yeah.
I just want to go all the way to God consciousness,
what could be better than
all
that?
the way. What? Nothing, right?
That's better than a Lamborghini.
Absolutely. It's the thing that actually goes with you when you die.
Yeah.
The Lamborghini does it.
Yeah. And so it's this knowingness that, this strong desire that this is what you want, and then the devotion to just keep going.
Every
Because it
day.
gets really hard.
Yeah.
It gets, and it's hard sometimes, or just even just showing up to do your practice, this devotion to come and do the movements, do the breath, because you know that it will be to your higher benefit, and you're going to feel better afterwards.
Yep.
And this devotion,
Yeah.
that for me, it's I have a friend who mentors me, and whenever we're on a call, and at the end of the call, I'm always like, well, I guess I'll just keep going. That's how I always end the call.
Oh, I love that.
And it's like, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You just keep going. You stay devoted
until
to the
the
path.
body dies.
Yeah. And I promise you, if you do that, you are gonna feel better and better and better and more at peace, more connected to your heart.
Yeah.
You'll feel love for yourself and for all the other versions of yourself more and more in this gradual. It's a gradual process, but it's more and more, and it is so priceless. I'll sell everything I have to buy that land and this pearl of greatest price.
I would sell everything too, brother. I'm right there with you.
Man, the joy, how amazing is it that I feel when I can just lay on my floor and feel the energy and feel embodied and feel like so much amazing feelings of ecstasy and like you're on a drug, but you're not.
Yeah.
This
God consciousness is the ultimate high.
Yes, this energy, this vital life force is the ultimate thing, and it's possible to feel this in a sustainable way when we cultivate it over a period of time.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's ever growing. Kuma, stop. It's ever growing. It just gets better and better. And man, check back with me in 3 years.
We will. We're gonna do another one of these, or 3 days. I don't know. Things shift a lot.
Yeah, these days. But yeah.
Oh wow, man, beautiful. It's so wonderful to hear somebody else say that is my supreme goal, and I think it is very rare. But it's so special because when you read the Gita or the Upanishads, or you go into, Christ doesn't really preach enlightenment. Christ was here more so for unconditional love and helping people reach that vibration, not necessarily enlightenment like Buddha or Krishna or other beings. But still, Christ's teachings can take you all the way if you really go all the way with them. And to feel a being that has felt profound peace and knows that this is actually my highest desire, this is the thing I want the most, this is the only thing I actually care about,
I'm on my way.
Yeah. There's this really beautiful parable, and I wonder if you remember it. It's a woman who's in a market with a vase full of grain, and she goes home and then it's empty. Do you remember that one from the Bible?
I can't recall it at the moment. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember.
I wish I
how
did,
it
and I
goes.
wanted to explain it, but
yeah, I'm sure it's very profound.
It is so beautiful. I'll surrender it. Like, I was hoping you would know.
Look it up. The lady with the vase parable.
Yeah, I should look it up. I don't have my phone though. Oh man, so how does it feel so far? How has this felt? It feels really natural. Tell me about it.
I've been going in and out sort of like a tunnel vision. You know when
yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Like I got centered in on your face, and then it felt like the rest of the world wasn't existing even.
I've had that moment.
And and you a little bit vibey, and your appearance seems to shift a little bit to different ages. And man, I've been in it. I didn't know how I felt about there was some resistance, I guess, when you asked me, but I just knew that it was that I knew I'd be happy if I did it.
Yay!
And so I did it, and I said yes, and we're here, and it's been amazing. It's actually very cool, because it's cool to hear myself speak, I guess. Wow,
isn't that a medicine in itself to hear your voice?
Actually, I'm doing all right.
Dude, can I just tell you that you have such a soft and calming voice. When I hear it, you have a certain tonality, and it's just within this spectrum, and I would say it's within a spectrum of peace. I don't ever really feel it oscillate too far out. It's just a consistent dose of
Yeah.
peace.
It's the Cappy. No,
Yeah, man.
it's definitely been. Yes, I'm happy to hear that because it's definitely been what I've been going for and
Yeah.
the energy I've been intending to cultivate.
Do
And
you
happy it's working.
feel
Yeah.
called to share more with the world through the mediums of social media and other platforms in this way at all right now, or any point in life?
It's become clear to me that it's important that I make myself seen more.
Yeah.
I get in front of the camera more.
Yeah.
I'm a photographer, and basically that means you're behind the camera all the time.
Yeah.
Kinda. And so it's really become very clear to me that I'm in a process of, and this is actually a part of that process. Stepping out
Yeah.
and being on this podcast. 2 days ago, I performed with fire, and I did a performance in front of a large group of people, and it was like a big
Fire dancing.
with like some fire fans, and first time doing it with these, and I just was like, again, I had some resistance when the opportunity
Yep.
came up, but these people are asking me to do these things for a reason,
Yeah.
and so I'm just saying yes, and I'm just allowing myself to be seen, and even when there's resistance, I'm just going for it, and because I'm pretty beautiful. I feel that I'm a beautiful expression
You're a radiant
of
soul.
source. And people want to see this.
Yeah.
And also like I intend to start sharing more content, qigong content, to help, maybe
Yay.
something educational.
Would
or
love to capture
classes.
qigong and put it on a Satori episode on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, I would
That'd
love
be
that.
really special.
And making more like videos or educational or maybe full classes. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like.
Yep.
But also, again, also just photos of me, videos of me in general.
Mhm. Sharing more of your realizations with the
Yeah,
world.
and talking in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Like just as simple as that, pointing the camera at me and talking like we're doing now. And I haven't stepped into that yet, but I feel the calling to want to get in front of the camera more. And
I'm
because
stoked to hear
like
that.
when you're an artist and when you're a wellness instructor or whatever, it's not even necessarily what you teach or what you create. It's what you're really selling, and what you really are is you. It's
your energy.
the energy. How does this source energy, this God, this chi energy express itself through the vessel that we call Leigh? And so this is what people want to see, and so I'm on my way to being seen more, and it's going to be beautiful, and
Yay.
I hope you like what you see.
I love what I see, man. I'm having a time. Kuma likes what she sees too.
Yeah, she does. Yeah.
And I like what Kuma sees. Yeah. I love the articulation of, what comes through in the expression of what people would call Taylor. To just even have a name and a persona that people kind of identify with is hilarious. And I laugh at it all the time. And I think back to the times when I had a strong character on, like a costume that I was wearing really tightly, and it was the entrepreneur costume of being an entrepreneur and business oriented and intelligent being. I'm so happy to be out of that suit, man.
Yeah.
It is just not a fun. Once you've come out of it, it's like, oh wow, I just can't go back to putting on a suit. I just can't do that thing, And I'm not talking about like a suit and tie. I'm just talking about intangible costume, kind of like a made up costume, a mask, a sort of persona of I am this being. I identify as this. To just being whatever.
We tend to do that, don't we?
Right? Like the mind seems to like latch onto something, and
Yeah, it's remarkable.
I had a moment where somebody the other day, this was like a month ago. I think it was Deepak. Deepak. So we did an episode together. Oh my god, it was so fun. Did you ever
Nice.
get to connect with Deepak?
Yeah, he's fucking
Okay.
he's
Without getting
awesome.
into how incredible of a being he is,
Yeah.
people will have seen the episode. If you haven't, I highly recommend. It was a whole podcast on inner child, because his
Nice.
medicine is play.
Yeah.
He is just a boy on the beach, just throwing frisbees and giving everybody love. Anyways,
It's true.
I digress. Deepak looks at me and he's like, bro, what's it like being a podcaster? I just started laughing. I was like, you know, man, you're the first person to ask that. And it's just hilarious to hear it because I forgot about that as like a title,
Yeah.
as like a role, as like a career path. It's just
Yeah.
like, that is so far from my
That's
reality.
great. You
But
were
at the same
so
time,
not identified with what you were doing.
but at the
Yeah.
same time, I was like, let me think about it. It's the best because I just love doing it. Period. It's the expression of my soul. It just
Yeah.
comes through in this way where I'm like,
Nice.
I love the
You're
Om
good at
symbol. I love Christ. I love Yin Yang. I love the Buddha. I love Krishna. I love Jesus. I think it's so cool, man. I want to bring together all of the high teachings that talk about oneness and help people realize that, hey, Krishna's great, hey, Jesus is great, and the Buddha's great, and there's a million other beings and different energies in which that we can look towards to help us come back to unity. But
And they're just showing us what's possible.
exactly, and they're all just reflections of our own true self, and to have the opportunity to express it in this way feels so fun and just natural and not at all like I don't know, like I'm not bashing the people that start their podcast in this way. It's totally fine. Your expression is always perfect no matter what. But for me, I just don't feel called to start a podcast in a way where it's like, welcome everybody to the Satori School podcast. We have Leigh here on the show. Like I just like that just doesn't come through for me, man. It doesn't.
I appreciate you not talking like that.
It dude, like looking at the camera, you know, like hey there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been quite informal, and I like it. This style.
Informal would be a good simple way to describe it.
Yeah, but you're good at it.
Yeah. So
And
go
it's
ahead.
funny. Well, it's just funny, like you were saying, like because like people will tell me like, wow, you're so good at taking photos, or you're like, oh, you're such a good photographer, or whatever. And I always just laugh, or it's just funny to me, I guess, because I'm like, no, it's not me though. I don't know, like I didn't even but it's funny, like the world gives you the credit.
Yes, of course.
Even though it's the energy is doing it, but people who are still like in the whatever the world, they're like they're giving you all the credit, and you're like, oh, okay. Well, a lot of times I'll just be like, thank you.
Can you imagine how Jesus felt doing miracles, healing people in crowds?
Wow, yeah.
He heals all these people. It's a miracle. They witnessed the miracle. The guy didn't have a leg. Now he has a leg. Or he was brutally ill. Now he's perfect. And, you know, everybody's like, ah, you are God. And he's like, the Father. You must have faith in the Father.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so great. He's just tying it right back to source, you know?
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, everyone was giving him the credit.
Yeah,
but it was just that energy flowing through him.
It's a true and beautiful symbol and sign, and I think this is an important thing I just want to touch on for everybody is you come across certain beings who in the whole spirituality realm, there's a lot of people who want to be enlightened. It's a very real thing where there's spiritual egos involved. And what you'll see is that the true sages and the true avatars, they're so nonchalant in the way that they don't take credit, in the way that they tie it all back to source, in the way that they say, hey, I know that you love me and that you think I'm really great and that's awesome. I love that. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. But I just want to point back up to source, divinity, God.
Yeah, the same sources that is in you.
That is in you. And wow, the medicine that you can begin to feel when you start to realize, oh my God, wow, these beings that are in a high vibratory state, they're always reflecting it back to the being who is praising them or is loving them or is in their presence. They're just that divine reflection.
Yeah. because the oneness becomes so much more apparent on that level. I don't like this word necessarily, but
I love the word. I think
yeah,
it makes it easy for people to see, but I know what you
yeah,
mean.
because it's not like
It's
yeah. I
not
mean, if we're in a game, then I guess it's levels to it. Makes sense.
there. So the way I love the Hawkins, you would love the map of consciousness, and then you would probably love the levels word a bit more. But it's easy to comprehend for the rational mind. But Hawkins made this scale from 0 to 1,000. Now it's actually an infinite scale because we're infinity. But the human nervous system can only support a level of consciousness that's at 1,000 relative to this scale. So Christ is at 1,000, Buddha was at 1,000, Krishna was at 1,000. What's so beautiful? Are you familiar with applied kinesiology,
Like the muscle
muscle
testing.
testing,
Yeah.
or O-ring or scissor method? Or
I know the muscle
traditionally, you
testing.
should be using
Yeah.
someone's arm.
Okay. Yeah.
It's profound. So Hawkins found Dr. John Diamond, who was a regular chiropractor, or whatever, and John Diamond and some other people discovered that the body and the way in which the muscles move, you can identify that which is supportive and uplifting of life, or that which is destructive and killing towards life.
That's actually so amazing.
So incredible. So what they did is these doctors in America, because I'm familiar with this through the U.S.'s history, but these doctors in America, they hold a fresh apple against the solar plexus, and then they have the subject, the patient's arm out like this, and then they'll push down on the patient's wrist to see if the deltoid, I forget the exact muscle, but to see if it stays strong or if it goes weak, and then the arm pushes down. Now the person is supposed to resist the push. They're just supposed to have a neutral stance, whatever. Now, if you push down on the arm and it's strong, the body is reacting in a positive way to the object that is against the solar plexus. So they identified this and thought, holy shit, this works with the scientific method, which is to prove that we have a thesis that if you do this and then this and this, it'll always work no matter what.
Yeah.
And scientifically, they proved it, and they did the whole quantitative, qualitative analysis process to go through the scientific realm of validifying it, validating it. And so Hawkins took it to the extreme, man. And some doctors took it to the extreme, and I'll give you an example. They would put in an envelope a picture of Adolf Hitler, hold it against the solar plexus in a crowd of people. Everybody had one, you could say, and nobody knows what's in the envelope. So it's a true test because people don't know what's in the envelope. And you go and you do the muscle test, everybody goes weak. And then there's another photo, and it's Mother Teresa. Everybody goes strong. Or it's
Wow.
Jesus Christ. I forget who this subject. The one was Adolf Hitler. The other one might have been Jesus Christ. Everybody goes strong. You take out the photos, everybody's laughing their pants, everybody's pissing their pants laughing because what the actual fuck is going on? Why does the body react positive to Jesus Christ and negative to Adolf Hitler? Well, Hawkins understood this to be the capacity to calibrate truth from falsehood at any point in time in the universe, because there is no such thing as time. So you can calibrate what the Bhagavad Gita calibrates at. You can calibrate what, my gallbladder calibrates at, parallel to this scale that he made. And you can calibrate one's level of consciousness. And the scale goes from like guilt, shame, apathy, anger, rage, all of the lower vibrational energies, which calibrate below 200. Now, 200 is the bridge of neutrality. So below 200 is negative and destructive of mankind. Above 200 is constructive and supportive of life. 200 is neutral. 200 is so neutral. Now, guess what? Money. Guess where money calibrates on the scale of consciousness? Neutral. 200.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes sense. You can use it for constructive, supportive life or destructive.
Right.
So you start to calibrate all these things and reference the scale, and everything makes sense. You're like, oh my God, of course money is neutral. And of course Jesus Christ calibrated 1,000. Of course Adolf Hitler calibrated at 175. And you start to calibrate beings. And you can, then if you go and you rise up into the 200s, you go from like neutrality to courage to willingness to reason, to love. Then you get to unconditional love in the 540s. Then you get to 600, which is the level of peace and bliss and Satchitananda and the gateway to opening the third eye and enlightenment. And then you get into the 700s, which is like realizing the self, and then 1,000. And the human nervous system can't support more than 1,000. So at least for right now, we're probably in 100 years that might be totally different. But I loved the scale and the concept of levels of consciousness. And it was actually a huge part of my awakening process, because when I was a rational Darwinian being who saw things in a linear fashion, I needed some numbers. I needed like a scale. I needed someone to tell me that there's levels for me to even comprehend what this spiritual realm is all about. And he tied it together in such a brilliant way, where the linear mind can just walk right out of it and
Yeah.
come into the nonlinear, infinite quantum realm
Cool.
of contextuality.
Yeah.
There's a whole thread.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
felt super called to share it with you.
Would you share it with me?
What?
I would like to read it, to see it.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to share it.
Thank you. Yeah. Wow, man, I'm tripping a bit.
Yeah.
Through this experience, I'm having some visuals.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
You know how many times I've seen God in the person? So many times. I've had the moment a few times with you on this podcast. Had it with Deepak so many times.
Nice.
Dude, I need to pee, so I'm gonna put on some break music.
Okay.
And then I think what we can do is we can close with a meditation.
All right.
And
I'm gonna pee also.
cool. So we'll go pee, and then we'll do a meditation.
Okay.
I'm gonna play some break music for everybody. I forgot to tell you that you can pee at any time. You just let me know. Pee time. Let's wrap it up with a little meditation. Did I tell you there's a right and left on the headphone? Just make sure you put it on. Yeah. Okay. Can you hear okay, by the way? I can turn up your volume on your headset if you want.
I can hear it. It's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. I forgot to ask that in the beginning. Wow, dude, I think I'm going to just go all the way back for this.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Get all set up. Wow. Get nice and cozy. So, this is a 963 hertz pineal gland activation frequency. And, yeah, man, the intention is kind of just to drop in and flow with the sounds and say whatever comes through and be an open channel for passing some words from God to the rest of mankind. We give thanks to Supreme Being, the O Lord, Krishna, Buddha, Kuma, Lee Taylor, Dr. David R. Hawkins, Neem Karoli Baba, all of the different sages and avatars and humans yet to realize their own sage and avatar. And we pray that everybody listening to this has the opportunity to find the peace within, and that what we've spoken of has been helpful for you to feel this inner chi, this inner peace, the inner self, the natural state, your true essence. Whoa. I feel like I'm just taking off, man.
Yeah, man, I'm flying.
Lord, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us for our trespasses, and for those... Lee, do you know the rest? Those that we have trespassed against.
Forgive those who trespass against us.
And lead us not into temptation,
But deliver us from evil.
but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the power, kingdom, and the glory, forever and ever. Something like that.
Something like that. Whew. can you give a prayer? A nice closing prayer. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit so we can hear you better.
It's just a prayer that I always say on the daily, but I'm always asking for certainty, for strength, and for wisdom. So the wisdom to know how to navigate through the challenges, the strength to keep going and to face them. And then, yeah, just the certainty that to be filled with a knowingness that everything is happening for our higher good. And yeah, this trust that everything's going to be all right. Yeah. And I pray that for all of us. Yeah.
Amen.
Aho.
Aho. Wow, brother, thank you so much for coming and just allowing this conversation to happen. It's so special to just drop in this way. I've learned so much about you. I had no idea.
No?
I had no idea.
I don't think I had an idea either. It just came out of me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, man. Seriously,
As soon as you just put a mic in front of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really special. I'm really grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I needed, and I appreciate you. And I also feel like I got to know you more.
Yeah.
We've like known each other for a while, but we haven't been able to like
fully drop in.
Yeah. So
and just connect more. Yeah.
And it's really cool what you're doing with this podcast. So keep going.
Thanks. I'm gonna keep going every day. Every day, gotta keep going.
Yep.
Gotta keep going every day. It's a lot of work, man. You know, it's effortless, and at the same time, I look at it and I'm like, holy shit.
It's like...
That's a lot of work that I don't seem to feel like I'm doing.
My understanding is it's like a lot of effort to get to the place of effortlessness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like you got to do all this effort to get the energy flowing, and then the energy does it for you.
Yeah.
And you do actions that are like aligned with, you know, that energy, and you do it with joy, and it doesn't really feel like work. But yeah, at least for me, cultivating that energy flow took a lot of effort.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Continuous effort.
I pray that all beings get to experience what it feels like to step into their dharma and to just feel what it feels like to be a leaf in the wind that's just being blown around by God, and that every movement is perfect, even if it feels directionless, which in a certain sense it is, but in another sense there's a trusting that you're being blown home.
Yeah. Wherever that is.
Yeah. Being blown back to the inner self.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Amen. Out of the spaceship